canvas and do it on a smaller canvas, because I hadn't tried to do that before. So I began doing that. So I think I did this one first. And so very similar process, you know, making the graphite marks and then painting it. It's just kind of in a smaller venue, so it's more compact.
Yeah.
So in some ways it's easier, in some ways it's harder. These take, it's very detailed. It takes a long time, oddly enough. Seems pretty spontaneous, but once you get the shape to make it sharp, you know, it takes a bit of work. So there's this one.
Did it feel as free, you know, and expressive as you felt with these other ones?
Yeah.
A little, it did.
Oh, wow.
Ooh, bring them
Yeah,
a little
then,
it's hard to
closer.
see because you're in front of the
This-
window.
And I can't
Well,
zoom
I
for
can't-
some reason here, so.
You can't see them?
Yeah,
Not
and I
too
can't
easily,
zoom.
because you're in front of a
We
bright
want to
window.
photograph them. Put them up here. Yeah.
Yeah.
It'd be nice to see them all together.
They're very interesting in a small form. I
Yeah,
must
they
say.
are.
Yes.
And I would say, I
And some
So-
of
so let me-
them
I'll-
the smaller format.
Yeah, I
that
know.
They really,
notice the effect of the frame, I want to say.
yes.
Well, yeah, compared to.
But,
you get
but
that
even
dark
without
edge,
the
you know.
frame, they have more impact for some reason than.
I agree with you.
The
There's
larger
something
ones.
about the condensed aspect
Yeah.
that has more impact.
Amazing.
It's a different effect looking
Yeah.
at it
Sure.
from the
Yeah.
larger.
Sure.
Wow.
So, but they were all just done kind of in the same way, where you see shapes, you're reflecting the whole time. You can see in these, this is unbleached titanium white, and this is titanium white. So again, like this idea of having, creating kind of blots within the painting, that's what I used to kind of create other maybe areas within the painting. So these three, though they're, you know, these two are kind of more similar than this one is, all happened through the same process. And then these two are ones I'm working on now. And this one I put more work into than any of the other ones so far, and I just haven't been able to create the movement
Can
I
you
want.
move this one away from the other paintings?
Um,
Can I just see them in front of you? I'm being the
Sorry, I'm a
director,
little
okay?
lost here. So
Yeah, I just want to see the painting without and that
She's
one now
directing you.
just in front of your shirt so that it's not confused with thank you.
Can you say a little more about you want to get the movement and you don't?
well, one of the things I realized was if you look at these, to me at least, particularly these two,
Yeah,
there's a lot of movement. Your eye doesn't rest anywhere.
yeah.
You know, it can rest, but it's drawn to other things. There's something about the shapes, maybe in this one maybe the teal marks, the way things are connected or not connected, that just keeps your eye moving.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a very, it's
And Judith
interesting.
kind of pointed that out to me. You know,
Yeah.
I didn't have a name for it. I wasn't calling it movement, but
I think that it's a good example of different ways that you can create movement. Some of the ways are in here, like going from color, like you might be following the red boxes.
right.
But then you follow the lines and the shapes.
Yeah.
And
And they keep going
it's a
around.
lot of different ways to create movement, even though these lines are kind of geometric. So it just is very interesting to think about that.
So if you think about movement, then you're looking at the painting, trying to see is there movement. You know, do you feel movement? And this one I felt a certain frustration doing. I did made a lot of changes, but one of the interesting things is putting this in.
Yeah, I know.
Here.
That's-
So
That's very
That's
effective.
very
Yeah.
different from the rest of them.
so here you have this moment you're just lost.
Yeah.
And so I had some red paint. I took a paper towel. I kind of put it in here. I added it in other places as well. You can see I took it out and then I took the brush and I
The
Very
first time you
quickly.
started picking it up, that's exactly where my eye went,
Uh-huh.
was to that.
yeah.
Same with me.
Yeah,
Me too.
yeah.
But you keep mentioning a wet paper towel, which I've never tried. It doesn't like come off in little shredded bits.
Not unless, I mean, if your canvas is, if you've got a lot of paint and it's rough and you rub it on, yes. but this is pretty smooth.
You might wanna use a rag, though.
Yeah, it's just that
Well,
for me,
oil.
you know,
Or
a
use
rag,
acrylic.
Yeah.
Either one.
you need a thin rag. I mean, this is,
Yeah.
it's small, it's a small work
Just
area.
try it and-
You know, the other things I use, I use Q-tips.
Mm-hmm.
So, both to erase and,
Yeah,
work
you
in the
can just
layers.
try
Sometimes I'll
different
paint with them, whatever. But in these small canvases, because it's pretty smooth, I don't find any difference in paper towels. They're just right there. They're very
You mean you
easy.
put the paper towel like around your finger, wet
Yeah,
it?
yeah.
And
Yeah,
you're,
or I-
you're basically finger painting.
Yeah, or
Paper
I
towel.
bunch up the end and wet it, squeeze it out, and just use the tip of the paper towel
Okay.
and kind of doing things. It just kind of depends. But
Yeah.
what part of what I'm trying to say is that it's a constant interaction, and you have some vision potentially about where you want to end up, but you don't ever end up there. It just if you're constantly interacting with the work you're doing, it just keeps flowing and changing, and the more you become committed to some end result that you have in your mind, the less effective the process is. To me, it just because you become fixed in what you're trying to do, and you're trying to do it, as opposed to kind of letting the painting emerge out of the interaction with the shapes, the colors, and your own process that you're going through during the painting itself, because it's changing all the time. You know, your own process, what you're feeling. A lot of times I have music on, so I listen to Pandora. I'm interacting with the music. It gives me energy a lot of times. So you know, sometimes something will come on and I find myself dancing around, and you know, you're painting and dancing around, and you know, it's just this whole environmental interaction with the painting. So
You've just described my philosophy of education.
Ah.
By the way.
Do you want to say more about that?
No, I know, but
On
but
film?
basically everything that I write and speak about in education is essentially what he just described.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.